Welcome to the show. Suzy here. So today I am going to show how I make my blueberry pancakes, and they're a little bit different. I don't use a pancake mix. I know that's pretty popular, easy, but what I'm using is a recipe that has different flours in it. So it has oatmeal flour, or actually what I do is just grind up oatmeal, and it has almond flour and whole wheat flour. And so I'm going to switch it over to the bowl here, and then you can see what I have in here, and I'll tell you. Hey, I have in my bowl here, have my little recipe on my app. This is the app that I use to save all my recipes. So I have 1 cup of ground oatmeal, 1/2 cup of whole grain flour, 1/2 cup of almond flour, 3 teaspoons baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons baking soda, and then 1 teaspoon sugar and 1.5 teaspoons cinnamon, 1 tablespoon brown sugar. So I have that all mixed in here. And then in this, the liquid ingredients here, so you can see, I have a banana that's been mashed. Now you want to take your blackest, darkest banana and put that in here. And so we have that in there. And then we're going to take and add a teaspoon vanilla, 3 eggs that are slightly beaten, 1 tablespoon melted butter, and then we're going to add 2 to 4 cups of buttermilk. And so we got the buttermilk here. We're going to add that in. So we're going to add this into the dry ingredients. So the bananas are kind of chunky, but that's okay. And I've shaken this up a little bit. And I'm going to start out with 2 cups buttermilk. And then we'll add another 1/3 cup probably. We'll see how thick it is when we add that in. So we're adding in the 2 cups of buttermilk. And I'm going to add in just another cup. You can add, or maybe I'll just add 1/2 cup. I like my pancakes a little thicker. If you like yours thinner, you can add even the whole container. You can add the whole container of the buttermilk, which is 1 quart. So now we're going to put that in there. And so you're just going to gently whisk this up. It's going to be okay if there's lumps in it. It doesn't have to be real smooth. So we're just going to mix that up. I don't have a whisk. We're down in our Florida spot, so we don't have a whisk. So you want to make sure that the flour is incorporated, but it doesn't have to be finely mixed. It can be lumpy. I don't know if you can hear the helicopter. We got a helicopter going out. We're just getting close to sunset down here on the beach. Okay, so if you can see, it's just kind of bubbly, and that's the way we want it. So we're going to move over to the stove, and we'll heat up the stove, and then I'll show you how we add the blueberries in. You can also make use the same recipe and just make plain pancakes. So if some of your household likes blueberry and some doesn't, then you can just use the same recipe. Before we go to the stove, I just want you to share the sunset with you. So we'll do that here real quick like. On here, we have it turned on high, and the way I check to make sure that it's hot enough for the pancake batter is if it sizzles up like this, then I know it's hot enough to put my pancakes on. And as you can see, my batter is nice and bubbly, and that you leave it set for 10 minutes before you you start putting it on your stove or your griddle. All I have here is a big frying pan, and that'll work just fine. So what you're going to do is just take it. If you want small pancakes, you can put 3 or 2, whatever. We'll just make 1 pancake to begin with here. I use this for the buttermilk, so a little bit more liquid is coming out. So what I do is just take and put the batter down. And then a trick that I have is I use whatever ladle or whatever I'm using to scoop, I take and put it underneath the paper plate so I don't make such a big mess on my counter. One of the things I always forget to do is I reach in to the blueberries and put my hands in. And these are just frozen blueberries that we're using from Target, the organic blueberries. You can use whatever kind of blueberries, you can use fresh blueberries. Anyway, what's a good tip is to take and put on gloves so that your hands don't turn purple. And I like lots of blueberries in my pancake, so we're gonna take and just sprinkle the blueberries all over. And then we're gonna let it cook. And how we know that it's ready is it'll bubble up. Now sometimes because the blueberries are frozen, I've let these sit out a little bit. But sometimes with the blueberries being a little frozen, it takes a little while to cook. So you can have the temperature on your burner about medium high. What I wanted to show you was the tool that I'm going to use to flip it. Sharon swears by this. This is really a fish spatula. And the reason why it's handy when you're making pancakes is that it doesn't get so much buildup of the pancake batter on there. You want to be careful on your nonstick ware if you're using your nonstick ware. And so let's check that pancake to see if it's done. Okay, we only have like 1 or 2 bubbles, so it's not really ready yet. Now with this burner, these are the kind that are flat top. I'm not as used to working with them, so we'll see if I can get a pancake that's not burnt up. And I probably will make my pancakes smaller because I want to take and freeze them. That's what I do when I'm traveling or at home even. I'll take and make up pancakes, have them for the meal, and then take and freeze them. So let's see if we can get this flipped. This is the tricky part. And I don't think it's quite done enough. So we'll let that wait. So you want more bubbles there. Okay, we're going to take and flip this pancake. See if I can get this underneath here. And as you can see, a little trickier. And then how you can tell when it's done this way is, of course, is when it steams up a little bit. Like I said, with the blueberries, and then with the darker wheat flour, it's going to be dark. But they taste really good. They might be darker than what you're used to seeing as a pancake. We'll let that cook up, and then we'll make some little more like dollar-sized ones. Steaming like that, that is a sign, indication that it's done. So we're going to try and get it out of here without it falling apart. Usually I use a bigger spatula, but I only have this available. So get the blueberries out, and it's okay if they come out. I just stick them on top like this. It's fine. And I think we'll use this spatula. What you want to do is you want to take and wipe the edges off so that everything doesn't get stuck on there when you're making the next batch of pancakes. Otherwise you get a big buildup and then it's hard to get that spatula underneath there. Okay, so now we'll just make some smaller ones. And if you don't put the glove on, your hand's going to turn purple. So you don't want purple hands like if you're doing Sunday brunch and you have company coming over or whatever. You want to use the gloves. Because the blueberries does stain the... And since I am using the non-stick ware, instead of using the fish metal spatula like this, I'm going to go to the plastic one because I'm afraid of scratching their cookware. At home I'd use cast iron. I have a cast iron griddle, and so I would use the fish turner. Okay, so we're going to let that steam up. These are the blueberries I buy from Target. Hopefully you can see that there. They're the organic ones. They're frozen, but you can use whatever kind you prefer. Okay, let's flip these around and cut that apart there. Okay, we have our blueberry pancake done. The syrup, I like using real maple syrup, and then so I use the 100% maple syrup, and I like to have a little whipped cream, or a lot. Anyway, so this can be our dessert for supper tonight. It's good. Bye.